Okay, what's up everybody? Unrested back again, and today I'm here once again with Mexican Samurai 100. I'm glad a lot of you checked out his channel after we had our last video. And this time we're going to be talking about a topic that's kind of esoteric but dear to both of us, and that is tattoos in Japan. Now people have asked me about this stuff before, and I've made videos in the past, but we thought today we'd take some time and, number one, tell you some of the meanings behind our tattoos, and number two, tell you some stories that are kind of situations that revolved around us having tattoos in Japan and how it affected us. So I guess I'll let you start out first. What are the meaning behind some of your tattoos? If I know you've got quite a bit more ink than me.
All right. Well, as you know, I'm a Christian,
Mm-hmm.
and I consider myself to be a warrior of the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this tattoo here is basically just armor.
Okay.
I got armor plates on my chest here, and I kind of did this after Roman was born because he's really into Iron Man and his superheroes. So I just had this one half armored off, where I have a cross here, and then I got the whole sleeve, which is a sheet of armor, and then I got the cross here. So when I did this, I just had this one chest plate here. But after Roman, he got old enough where he was looking at his superheroes and stuff like that. He says, "Daddy, why do you just have one plate right here?" And I said, that's a good question. Maybe I should get the other half done too. He said, yeah, that would look cool. So he and I, we went together, and we got the second half done. So I got two plates here, and it kind of makes me look like a superhero for him. You know?
That's cool. So it involves your faith and
Yeah, but
your own
there's a sheet of
offspring.
armor. Okay, and as a matter of fact, here, if you can see it, there's a Roman numerals is 3, 7, 5. Can you see that? That's Minako's name. That's my wife's name.
Oh, okay.
Mi at the mitsu, nana, ko as in go, Minako.
Ah, that's
So
good.
it's not actually
man.
her name written out, but it's in numbers, so you can read it as Minako. It means Minako here in Japanese.
Yeah, and her name actually doesn't mean those numbers, but if you say those numbers in Japanese, they have the same pronunciation as her name, right?
Exactly.
That's a pretty nifty idea. That's rather
So it's not
quite
her name written
ingenious.
out, but you know. And then I have the smiley on top of that, which means see how much I love you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the initials for that. So it's just a plate of armor here. And then I have this one is dedicated to my children. I got Christian, Christina, and also Roman's names here. And it says here, always daddy's babies.
Mm-hmm.
And here, my mother passed away, and I have her name written here. And it says, in loving memory of mom. I love you, mom.
And you spelled her name out in kanji.
Yeah, it's Yasuko.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Okay. And then, what else? And then I got my back done. I'm not going to show you the back because it's not finished yet. But
Oh, okay. That's understandable.
I get a big crucifix on the back,
Mm-hmm.
and above that it says forgiven, because Jesus died for my sins, and I'm therefore forgiven
Cool.
from everything that I've done or everything that I will do. Okay, so there are basically a lot of tattoos regarding our family, my love for my family, and also the love for my God. Okay, so yeah, I just got a lot of really meaningful tattoos. Well, to me, you know.
Right,
regarding my
understandable,
family
and that's what they
my
should be,
God.
is meaningful to you. I mean, the
That's
real
it.
reason people get tattoos, I think, in America is more so that they have personal meaning to us, whereas there is the people who get gang-affiliated tattoos in Japan.
Oh, yeah.
It's true, but there is people here who also get, fashion-type tattoos or tattoos that have personal meaning to them as well. I don't want people to have the concept that everybody in Japan who has a tattoo is connected to the mob.
Yeah.
It's definitely not true. Well then, for myself, I have the full sleeve of just zombies, and most people don't know, but it's actually like pictures of my friends' faces made into zombies, which some might consider a little irreverent, but nonetheless it was
Crazy.
meant to be comedic. And I do have, it goes all the way to a chest plate too. Oh, actually, I should make myself big on this. I'm going to show everybody. There we go. Okay, yeah, let me continue. Yeah, so this is all like my friends' faces and stuff, and one of them is actually kind of funny. This is my friend John over here, and this one was actually taken, the only picture I had of him at the time was from a Purikuda one, a Purikuda picture, which is like kind of like the little like girly type photo booth pictures, and we used it from that. He had just taken a funny picture with his girlfriend one time, and that's all I had on me, and we used that to put it on there, so it's kind of funny. It's his picture from that.
Wow.
And then, yeah, mine continues on to here, and it is a skull, because on the other side it's going to have, like, I'm not finished either. I want to get the other plate done as well. I want to have a baby inside of a womb, kind of the cradle to the grave type concept, where make the most of every day because you're dying from the second you're born, which is maybe a tad morbid, but motivational nonetheless.
Okay.
Now, as you said, you've got a lot of Christian meanings behind yours. This one actually, most people probably don't know by looking at it from afar, but up close, this has been relabeled. It's actually from Grey's Anatomy, and the ventricles have actually been relabeled with the 7 deadly sins, kind of to remind you that those are in everybody's heart, and they're what temptation are constantly abound, so that you need to try and avoid those. Because I always felt like I always enjoyed the really ritualistic aspect of the Catholic Church and the ceremonies around it. Although I'm no longer a practicing Catholic, I still did enjoy the ritual, the very elaborate designs and concepts behind everything, and that was one that really stuck with me. And it has nothing to do with the movie. I'm not really a big fan.
Okay, all right.
Not a big fan of the movie really too much. It was a good movie, but not really what mine's about. On my legs, these are ones people almost never see. I've got a graffiti one here that I did. I actually did these myself. This is my own tattooing.
Wow.
This is a gas mask here just because I felt like things are, it's like a thing like everything's contaminated, but if you keep yourself pure, you won't be contaminated by it. And that's what this says here is contaminated. So, and then in the middle it's got a star. And on the other side, this was actually my first practice tattoo. I did a crossbones, which is, I know it's silly, but it was just the first practice. The first time you ever ink, you have to ink yourself, or you won't know how it's feeling on other people's skin when you do it, how heavy your hand is. So I did that, and I did the crossbones just for a practice, and then after that, because it was my first tattoo ever that I ever did, it was quite bad. Everybody starts out not that hot at tattooing. And so then I did a cover-up by making it into a spider, where the actual thorax in the back is still a skull shape, which I just thought it would look cool, but at the same time be a decent cover-up, and it worked out okay.
Nice.
So
that's pretty cool that you can do your own tattoos, though.
Yeah, it's not something that I do very often, just because, number one, it takes a lot of prep time. You would be surprised if you don't own your own shop. You've got to sit down and put all the saran wrap down. And just in case people are wondering, I do have my own sterilization machines. Because my wife is a dentist, I have access to all that material, so I am completely legit when I do this. And in Japan, there is no tattoo license, so I am legally doing it, and I have legally tattooed other people. But it's not something I do very often. Number one, because I don't really like to charge a lot of money for my art, but tattoos require a lot of money due to the supplies connected to them.
Definitely.
So.
Yeah, they do.
So then let's get into some stories behind our tattoos. Tell me a good story you have about some kind of social interaction that your tattoos in Japan have been thrown into together.
Okay, well, first of all, I don't reveal my tattoos at school. No one has ever seen my tattoos at school. I keep them covered up. I wear a long sleeve, but in the summer, I do wear polo shirts and also t-shirts at times. Mm-hmm. And what I use to cover up my sleeve is this basketball sleeve here.
Yeah.
And this is, Scott, this might be something that you might be interested in getting, I'll just go and put a polo shirt on, and before putting the polo shirt on, I'll put this sleeve on, and as you can see, it covers up the whole arm.
Would you say that's like cooler, like temperature-wise?
You know what? I really don't pay much attention to how discomforting it is, because if I do, I'm gonna hate putting it on, Mm-hmm. So I kind of mentally block that out, But it's not that uncomfortable just having on. Mm-hmm. I think it really doesn't really matter. It doesn't make that much of a difference. But I'll put this on before I put a polo shirt on, and they can't even see my tattoos. I do have 2 tattoos on my calves. I got one with LA with let me see it.
Yeah, it's hard to get it up there, eh? Oh, okay,
Yeah,
cool. That's a nice one.
LA with the American flag in the back,
Very
and
cool.
then I have a crucifix on the other leg.
Oh, okay, another one. Cool.
And so I don't wear shorts at school, but there was this one time where they invited me to go swimming with the kids one time. So I did have I had a Under Armour dry sleeve on my
Like a rash guard
torso.
type thing.
Yeah. So they couldn't see anything, but I was like, oh snap! I forgot my legs. So I had shorts on, and I was like, what? Well, I'm just gonna have to go. So I went to the pool with the kids, and I did see my tattoos, but that was it. Oh, Tino's got tattoos, and that was it. It was over. They didn't even ask me about them or anything. And then that was probably the only time the kids or the teachers never saw my tattoos. Now, when I do go on my own personal time, when I go shopping or what have you, I will wear T-shirts or something, and I will run into kids or what have you. But they don't really say anything about my tattoos. You know, I think it's not like it was like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I think now it's pretty. Some kids would tell me, yeah, my dad, my mom has tattoos and
Yeah.
stuff like that. You know? So it's pretty much just mainstream now. It's not as unusual as it was a long time ago. You know?
Yeah, it's becoming
And
more and more common.
they're not really. They don't look at tattoos like you're in the yakuza or anything. Like they don't even see it that anymore. You know, especially kids today, they have no concept of what that is. You know, in the yakuza or what have you. They don't even think about that. Once they see people with the tattoos on their arms or what have you, it's just fashion or what have you. But once I do get into a situation where I have to explain my tattoos, you know, they're pretty impressed. You know, it's commendable that you can love your family that much to put them on your arm, or love your God that much to do that to yourself. So, you know, they are quite impressed. But there is one time when I did have a problem with police. They pulled me over because of my tattoos. I was driving down the street, and I had my arms sticking out the window there. And this patrol car, the cop, I knew he was going to turn around because he was looking at me. And he saw my tattoos, and they pulled me over. And I asked him why they pulled me over, and he said, we were just kind of interested in your tattoos. And then I said, oh, this is a religious tattoo. Okay, and I explained it to him, and I said, what? And then he began to ask me questions about it. I mean, is it gang affiliated? I'm like, no. Are you in the mafia? I'm like, no. You know, as a matter of fact, I'm an English teacher.
You're the
And
only
like,
mafia person
really?
living in
Yeah,
Japan.
yeah. They basically thought I was a hood or in the mafia, you know. But they didn't think I was yakuza, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think people always ask us that question. They're like, don't you ever worry that Japanese people will think you're in the Yakuza? Well, there isn't really any gaijin in the Yakuza.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna let us in the yakuza anyway. So, you know.
Right? Exactly. So that's kind of a silly concept to even have. When people ask me that, I'm like, yeah, well, there's not really a lot of foreigners that are in, you know. Actually, it's completely a rare idea.
I can't think of any foreigners in the yakuza, but you know.
Even in the different types of clans, there isn't any type of foreigner or any kind of background like that. Anyway, continuing on, a story for myself, and this is kind of one that was maybe more of a negative story around my tattoos, but at the same time, something that kind of shows what kind of presence tattoos have. And like you said, you went through the situation where they related that to gang activity, which it has absolutely nothing to do with. I had a situation where it was a bit strange. I've had people who are a bit freaked out by the tattoos or a bit scared of the tattoos because, like you said, they connect it to things that don't even necessarily have any kind of meaning to it. But
Yeah.
that is something that you do face in Japan sometimes. And one time I had a situation, I'm trying to go on the train, and I had my kid in his stroller, and I'm trying to push him on, and this guy is standing right in front of the door. And I'm like, was he getting off, or what is this guy doing? I don't quite understand. And the guy behind me, who is Japanese, was like, why isn't that guy moving? And I was like, oh, well, this guy is just standing in front of the door, so what do I do? So I waited for a little bit, but then the doors are going to close and the train's going to go, and I'm not waiting 15 minutes for the next train.
Right.
So I eventually just started, like, I said, oh, sumimasen, doite. And then finally I was just like, jama, and pushed my kid on, because he just wasn't moving. And he purposely stood there, because even my other friend getting on with me was like, what's that dude's problem? Like, I thought maybe, I was like, maybe, you know, I can get a bit heated sometimes. I'm not confrontational, but, you know, if I need to get something done, I can be a bit pushy at times.
Yeah.
But I pushed on, and this guy wouldn't move, and the cart did slightly hit him in the ankle. I mean, not like break his ankle or something, but bump him into the ankle. And he picks his leg up and he slaps his leg and says, like, you hit me in the ankle, like, in Japanese, of course. And I'm just like, yeah, you wouldn't move. And so he starts muttering stuff under his breath. And I'm like, oh, dude, this guy is crazy, man. What's going on? Like, and I'm with my kid. What are you going to do if some dude's acting crazy around your kid? You're going to protect him no matter what, right? So I was like, all right, what am I going to do? If this guy goes crazy, like, I'm not going to start anything. I'm never the guy to start a fight. But if this guy's going to go crazy, like, I'm going to defend my kid. So I'm like, all right, I got a baggy t-shirt on, and I've got a hat on. So let me take off my hat, and let me take off my t-shirt, because I know almost every fight gets into grappling. And I'm not trying to start anything here. You know, I'm just like, I want to be prepared to... And as soon as I take off my t-shirt, like, I'm wearing like this so that you can see the full sleeve and everything, the dude is like turned pale and like turned completely around and like faced the door to like get off the train, and just wouldn't look at me, and was like super like and as soon as the next stop opened, he like rushed out. So I like completely scared him by like taking off the t-shirt, and like then he saw the tattoos and was like, oh what, who did I just talk to? Like, and that was not my intention at all. My intention was just like, all right, I need to make sure my kid is safe, and if something has to go down, I'm going to prepare myself. And that's all I did. I didn't even say anything back to this guy when he's muttering under his breath and stuff, and I was just like, all right, I just want to be ready. But that freaked the dude out, and he got off right away at the next stop. It was hilarious. Nice. And my friend was like, dude,
you know what I call that, man? I call that fighting without fighting.
Yeah, and I always feel like that's the best result of any confrontation. If I can avoid a fight, definitely.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Damn. Well, that's a story, man. That's a story.
It was.
I've never had anything like that. Like I said, you know, I'll keep it limited to maybe t-shirts or no sleeves. I don't really do a lot. Mm-hmm. I do sometimes, but when people look at my tattoos, I think more than the tattoos, they're probably just looking at the way my build, really, you know? They're like, you know, the complete... Look at his arms or something like that. Yeah. But, I don't know, man. I think more than you, I think I'll probably get like a lot of hood looks. Oh, that guy's hood, you know? He's a gangster, you know? Something like that. But it's the whole package, though. I don't think it would be just the tattoos. Definitely. Once in a while, you know, depending on where I go. But if I do step out of my neighborhood, I will wear tank tops or white beaters or something like that. Yeah. And a lot of people, they look at my tattoos and they're really, really interested in them. You know, they rarely ask me what they mean, which is unfortunate. I wish they would. So it would just give me an opportunity to, you know, express how I feel about my family, what have you. But they just look and they'll complete a snail or something like that. They say, oh, that looks pretty cool or something like that. They'll compliment me on it, but they never ask me, you know, what they mean. And that's kind of unfortunate. I wish they would.
Well, I feel like kind of what the situation is that in Japan, one of the great things that I love about this country is that you don't really receive a lot of negativity from people who are not into what you are about. But you do receive attention from the people who are into what you're about. If they like your fashion, if they like your tattoos, those are the people that will come up and talk to you only to compliment you. You don't actually have people who are like, oh, that looks lame, I don't like that. You know, like, you really don't get that. If they don't like it, they just won't talk. They just won't say anything. They just, you know, kind of the concept of you only have bad things to say, don't say anything at all. That that seems to be a golden rule here.
What about onsens or pools?
Now, I've actually been able to go to onsens because I've gone to ryokan, the Japanese-style hotel, and those people never, they're great about it. They never bat an eye. they're just like, whatever, you paid to be here, so I'm not going to complain about it. But I have heard from many a friend that even from small tattoos, they've been kicked out of places like Spa World, you know, like the chain onsen place, and places that are like chains, and places that are connected to, you know, some apartments don't even have a bath. They're like really, really small apartments that like construction workers work at or they live at because they're young. Those places, if they've tried to go into there to actually use the onsen as a bath, the people are like, hey, no tattoos in here. And my friend even, the funniest picture my friend has is it's a guy who's totally covered. He took a picture of himself next to the sign that says, hey, don't come in here with tattoos and stuff, and he's totally covered in tattoos.
Wow.
Yeah. So there is that situation here. I don't know, do you face that there?
I don't go to the community baths. I go to Yogan, just like you do. When it's more pricey, you gotta put out a little bit more. But like you said, man, you get to spend the night. You get your own private bath. You got a great meal. Okay, so it's like, you know, they you know, you're paying customers, so like you said, they don't even bat an eye.
Exactly.
You know, but the community bath, I choose not to go, not because of my tattoos, not because they don't let me in. It's just, I don't know, sanitary problems.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I still have a problem with going into a big bathtub with a bunch of naked men that I don't know.
And there's no chlorine in those. Don't get the wrong idea. There is zero chlorine.
Oh, but you know what? There are some places that do treat their baths with chemicals.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because what they do is they recycle that water, and that's just nasty.
Oh no, yeah, that's not cool at
Some
all.
of these places you can go in, you can actually smell the chemicals that they use in the bath.
Now the ones you and I go to, those are usually natural springs, right? Almost
that's right,
always.
That's right. Yeah. And they are not recycled.
No, not at all. It's constantly fresh water pumping out of the earth, literally pumping out of the earth.
Right. And those are the only ones I will go to.
Yeah, same here. Those are the only type I
don't even go to the family baths anymore. You know, because they have facilities here where they have the onsens or the hot springs, but they also have the family baths where you can rent a room with a private bath. And a lot of people who have tattoos, they prefer to use those type of facilities. But my main problem with those places, Scott, after the couple that leaves, there's only maybe like 10 or 15 minutes cleanup time, right? I'm telling you, dude, I don't know, man. I feel kind of strange going into a nice sized bathtub, okay, after a couple just left there, only 15 minutes before I get in there.
Yeah.
And if they were doing some dirty, nasty, I know that water is not clean. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're not doing anything.
It's kind of nasty, dude. So it's like, you know, that's my main problem with.
And that kind of is actually, people might not know that actually is sometimes used as the extremely romantic date here in Japan to say, hey, let's go to the onsen together.
It's cheap too. It's only like what, $15?
Yeah, exactly.
2 hours, man. You can't beat that.
Yeah. Not that we're suggesting that all of you come here and start asking girls to go to the onsen, but
not at all.
Please don't do that.
Yeah, definitely.
What about, do you have any other stories that have led to situations with your tattoos?
As far as the onsens or what have you?
Oh, no, just anything in general. I mean, really, any other.
In general, let's see. Any other tattoo stories?
Like you had the one about.
How I get my tattoos.
Huh?
I can tell you how I get my tattoos.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. That was
okay,
really
check this out. Okay, well, when I first started getting tattoos here in Japan, I got this one here with Minako's name on it, okay, right there. And I got it done from a Japanese tattoo artist who's really, really good. His name is Masashi. And he asked me, was I interested in teaching him privately lessons, right? And I was like, yeah, cool. Because, you know, he was really interested in going abroad because, you know, they have conventions and what have you all over the world, right? So he's thinking about going international with his tattooing and what have you. And we made it to where I would teach him English and he would give me tattoos.
And that's great because people might not know it, but you can actually use it as a bartering service, the teaching of English. I mean, that is our service here. Don't ever try to offer it up for free. Please don't do that if you come here because you'll undersell all of us.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
think of it as a way of bartering for stuff.
Yeah.
Now, you live in a smaller part, I shouldn't say smaller, it's more countryside area of Japan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that is an easier concept of being able to use your skills to barter. We're here, I'm in kind of the really heavy urban sprawl. Don't necessarily think you can walk into a tattoo shop and be like, hey, you want some English lessons? For you, it's great though out there.
Yeah, but no, it didn't start off that way. I got this tattoo, and he approached me with the idea.
Okay, so progress to that.
I could never see myself bartering that way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it makes sense. It's not something you would push on somebody. It's something that would evolve from a relationship. Yeah,
I couldn't do that.
yeah, yeah. That's understandable.
He'll call me from time to time, and he'll have customers who come in and say that they want this written in English or something like that. How would I say that in English? And I'll knock that out for him, or I'll fill out a application for a convention in Germany or something. I'll do that, and then I'll just say, hey, like I said, my back is still work in progress. So I'll say, hey, I want you to do this for me. He'll just boom, boom, boom.
Perfect, man. That's awesome.
And knock it out.
I guess the only last
We've been
story.
friends for about 12, 13 years now. So.
Nice. That's awesome, man. That's been really progressive over that time. Wow.
The only tattoos that I pay for are actually ones that I get done in the States.
Oh, okay. Well, pretty much most of mine have been here in Japan as well. Like I've got the whole sleeve finished here. I had it started and it wasn't so hot when I had it done in America, but I had a great artist here finish it up and do a kind of a cover up. He kind of finished out some stuff that wasn't fleshed out so well. I guess for me, the only final story that I have is, it's a real quick one, and this was something that happened to me recently. As you might all know, that if you keep up with anything about Japan, recently in Osaka, our mayor has been cracking down on tattoos, and he feels as though people who work for the government shouldn't have any tattoos. Now, my personal opinion of this is kind of a moot idea because I'm not an actual Japanese citizen, so I can't really vote on any type of politics. I can have my own opinions, but they hold no weight, sadly. But I work at a school that recently asked me to start wearing this tiny little sleeve around the end of my wrist because when I write on the board, they said they sometimes can see a tiny bit of black ink. So
is that a sleeve, bro?
Yeah, it's like it's like a.
Let me see what this like.
It's just like a little I think like a bandage thing like for if.
Okay, not like an athletic.
No. It's like, I think like for carpal tunnel or something? I'm not really too sure. So, I felt like that was a little ridiculous to bring it to that kind of extreme of having to make me wear this tiny thing to cover up just the tiniest bit of ink. Because I work at other schools too. I have multiple contracts with different schools. And none of the other schools I work at care about it at all. Like you said, they kind of have like, not necessarily apathy, but they don't really connect anything negative with your tattoos.
Yeah. Not anymore they don't.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it for me on that. As for the video, we'll go ahead and draw it to a close because we're running out of time. Unfortunately, we're both on tight schedules today. I know I am. I'm about to go pick up my son. Until next time, I'm Unrested, and you are?
And I am the Mexican Samurai.
Let me make it, Mexican Samurai 100. Please, if you have not subscribed to his channel, please do so now. Thanks again.